answer it?
Sure.
I don't want to set up a straw man question. So you believe in limited atonement, correct?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask how you explain 1 Timothy 4:10, where it says, for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach because we trust in the living God, who's the Savior of all men, especially of those that believe. So to me, that's saying he's a Savior of those that don't believe and those that believe. So that covers all, because I understand Calvinists say all doesn't mean all, but how do you explain that passage since it seems to cover all? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I would say that the issue concerning this passage, because it's been a while since I had looked over a lot of these, because I tried to, for the first while, do a series debunking universalism, and I don't think I've gotten a chance to get to this particular passage here. So concerning 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 10, so far, it's very difficult for me reading it just at the face value, because so far at face value, this was one of the passages that I used to try to say that, you know, Jesus saved everybody, and that this proves universalism. You can't debunk it.
Well, because it seems okay. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So one of the things I'm looking at in the in Gale's commentary, and he's a Calvinist, is when he comments on the who is the Savior of all men, he's saying in a providential way, giving them being and breath, upholding them in their beings, preserving their lives, and indulging them with the blessings and the mercies of life. For he is the Savior of all men, with a spiritual and everlasting salvation is not true in that fact. And then he comments further on those who believe, whom though he saves with an eternal salvation, yet not of this, but of a temporal salvation, are the words of to be understood, or as there is a general providence which attends to all mankind. So far from what I'm seeing there, that how a Calvinist could understand, and I don't know, I have to look more further into this to draw my own conclusions by examining the text itself and seeing where this goes, is that at a face value, without going anywhere else, it would seem universal salvation. But at the same time, it seems, because it says, especially of those who believe, obviously, because didn't he, you know, isn't he a savior of these people, especially those who believe? But the issue that seems to be what most of these passages will say when they have, like, he is the savior of all men, will it be like referring to Gentiles are also included in salvation, since salvation was originally for Israel. So it could be also possible that the salvation that is mentioned here, or that he is the savior of, is sort of a granting of a sort of common grace. Hence why it is also mentioning all men, including those that believe, because there's also common graces, even though not salvific graces, that other people that are not believers receive, such as that they're able to live, such as that they are able to do good in life, that they're able to benefit well for their family and provide for them. So you have these things that are mentioned here. So I would say consider that, but I would, again, this is a passage for myself that I'm going to have to be humble on and say that I would have to take a look further into this passage and make a note of it, so that way I can, whenever the hangout is over, I'll look further more into it.
Sure, and I appreciate the response. Obviously, I see that as more of a reading your theology into the text instead of just believing what it says, but I appreciate your response.